Good day, and another talking technical. And luckily, a lot of you's got my email nowadays because it looks like plenty of the requests are coming through on email. And also, thank you for those that's joining us on Twitter, so that you can also see that we asking you for some requests. And tonight we've got a full program. And the first one is Exxaro. Stephen is asking about Exxaro, and I think a lot of these commodity counters are making some guys very nervous because it looks like they're sort of running out of steam, some of them. But luckily, I mean, the platinum counters are really struggling. If I look at Exxaro, I mean, Exxaro is the top coal player. This share is beautifully on the uptrend. If you look at it, Stephen, you can just have a look here. I'm just going to show you the trend line, and then the moment I draw that in for you, you can just say, there you are. From a left to a right, it just shows you there's a constant, beautiful move to the upside. And that just tells you that the share is healthy and that people like the share. And what makes me a little bit positive about it as well is, can you see these two candles here? And those candles got, both of them, those long upper shadows to the top. And that tells me that there were some sellers around this level of 187.21. This level was turned into a support now. Here's the big problem of this. The big problem of this share is that if it carries on, it will eventually work on what we call a beautiful rising wedge. And we're right at the top of that band there, but there's just no turnaround. So Stephen, if I look at the chart tells me that the momentum is still to the upside, and yes, we can go higher. And maybe we can see this 200 Rand level in a few weeks from now, because the share is just showing us that every time that it pulls back, look at it, there it started, pulls back a little bit, and it goes up all the way. And the moment it comes back to the support line, there is some buyer. So for me, if you want to chase it now, I think you may be a little bit late. I think the big momentum is behind the share. But of course, if it breaks above this 189.48, we can easily see it all the way up to 200. But let's give you a stop loss if you do want to chase the momentum, because I know there's a lot of momentum chasers now in the market. I just believe that shares can go higher. Now, the stop loss that I will use is 179.79, and that is just to protect your capital. Let's have a look at Implats. I mean, this is now one of those counters, and that's Ronnie asking about Impala. Ronnie, if I look at this chart here, it's just almost the opposite of Exxaro. And what do we see here? Where Exxaro has got this beautiful upward momentum since April. I mean, Impala Platinum was a share close to 300 Rand, and now it is 176 Rand 55. And I can remember when I shorted it close to this 300 Rand levels, a lot of the people following me on Twitter asked me, are you out of your mind? And remember, the Rand is going to help us. The platinum price is strong. Everything is in their favor. They're printing some money. They're making a lot of money. They're paying out a good dividend. But what worried me was this, and I just want to take that away. There was a tiny double top there. There's the top. There was a double top. It just squeezed above that. And what do we see? Right at the top there, we saw that dark cloud cover candle. Now, a dark cloud cover candle is usually a candle that tells you, yes, it can go higher, but because I saw this tweezer top here, or this double top here, I know that if it goes below that, we can maybe see a nice pullback. Now, yes, I've locked in my profit long time ago, because the people that knows me over the years, they say I'm keen to take some tiny profits. I'm not scared to take profits. Now, if you look at this chart, since this dark cloud cover candle, you can also see that the stock lost momentum. It gave us a little bit of a bounce. And here's another clue. It went up beautifully, and there was the evening star formation. There you can see it. Strong bullish candle, a doji, a shooting star, also another bullish engulfing candle. But look at these shadows. And there was the evening star formation, bullish candle, doji right at the top, bearish candle, and since then it just lost momentum. So Ronnie, if you look at the share at the moment, yes, it's sitting on a waterfall formation. Now, a waterfall formation is exactly that what I'm showing there with my cursor. It's when the share just lose momentum. But what I do see here is I've seen that the share is right at the bottom here at 170 Rand. There was a beautiful lower shadow. Let's just see how it looks like on the stochastic. I just want to have a look because I think maybe the share will be oversold as well. Here you are. Let's see. Oh yes, it is grossly oversold, so it can easily bounce. I like this candle with the lower shadow. And where can it bounce? If it goes above, I want to show you this little line here, Ronnie. There you are. When it gets above that, top of that little candle there, just want to remove that one there. If it breaks above that high of that candle, and that will be 185.07, we can maybe see a bit of a relief bounce here on Impala Platinum. But if you do buy it, make use of a stop loss of the lower bottom of that candle, 168.887. And what do I see? It can maybe, if it really gets going, and then it can maybe close this gap. There you are. There's the gap there. I can show you there. It is between 235.76 and 237.14. So, well, it's a long way up. But, of course, what do we need? We need a stronger platinum price, and we need a weaker rand. At least there's your target. If it goes up, I can give you the interim targets. Will be 189.74, 193.62, 197.20, 248, and 203.76. And then if it just carries on, you'll probably see this candle or this share close that gap at the top. Well, let's look at Naspers. I mean, this is the favorite of the market, or it was the favorite of the market for many, many years. But this share is making me a little bit positive here. Although everything is negative in China, everybody is telling us that the regulators are clamping down on the technology stocks there. Since all the bad news that came out, and Richard asked about it. Richard, what do we see here? There was the low. There's another low, but that low is a little bit higher, and now you've got almost a tweezer or a double bottom scenario. There's the bottom, there's the bottom as well, and I know this double bottom will only start to play out if it gets above that line there, and that's quite a while from here. I mean, that's way from here. Let's just get that. I just want to get that for you there, and you can see the double bottom that I've showed there will only come into play above this line, and that will be above 2,686 Rand and 81 cents. Then this double bottom will come into play, and then it can take it higher. So it's early days. But what do we see here is after this doji, we've seen a bullish engulfing candle, and I know that the share is under immense pressure, and it's probably oversold as well. So if it gets above this little candle there, and there you are, 2,403.06, and you can maybe see the first light in a very, very dark tunnel. Now, can you believe that we will get on the show and say that Naspers will maybe give us a beautiful bounce? And look what happened. I mean, Naspers wasn't a long time ago in January. It was a share of 3,800 Rand. Now it's 2,380. So for all the Naspers players and the guys that like the stock, I hope it works out for you. But I'm going to give a stop loss through. The stop loss will be 2,287 Rand and 30 cents. Let's have a look at Kumba. And I mean, this is also one of those favorite companies. I mean, it paid out a dividend the other day. Everybody thought that the share will just not even worry about the dividend. It will just carry on. But what do I see here is I don't like it because there's a waterfall formation. It gave us a little bit of a bounce, and now it's starting to lose momentum. And the scary part about is this. There is an ugly head and shoulder formation in Kumba. And remember, Kumba is a company that prints money. I mean, they're making money like you can't believe. And what do we see? We see a left shoulder. We see the massive head and the right shoulder. And for all the viewers that's maybe new to the program, a head and shoulder formation is a negative formation. And this is the neckline, and if it breaks below 598.64, the share can actually surprise us all and go down. Let's just show you where it can go to. I'm going to use the old method of the right shoulder to the neckline, just projecting lower. And if you want the full target will be from the head to the neckline. And if I must just extend that a little bit, just do that to get the level to my target to the downside. There you are. It can take this wonderful share down to 451 Rand and 7 cents. And I know that everybody will say, Frans, this is not true. This cannot happen. Well, if I believe this chart and this neckline turns into a resistance, it can happen. The only thing, I think the saving grace for Kumba and a lot of these other commodity stocks is if the Rand starts to weaken. If the Rand starts to weaken, we can easily see a little bit of a turnaround. Just something on gaps. We talk a lot on gaps on this program. Now, this little gap here was because of the dividend, and that is between 738 Rand and 32 and 695. That gap is open there. Now, the old rules say that a gap will close. Maybe not today, so maybe sometime, maybe somewhere in future. But there's another rule that we tend to forget. While a gap is open, the momentum is to the downside. So yes, it can fill it. That's quite true. But it can also surprise you and keep this gap open for quite a long time before it closes. So just keep it always in your mind. The gap is almost you can say a direction indicator that tells you where the share can go to. Well, thank you. Visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com for more info, and we will chat again.